How many times have you worn something you didn't like because someone else liked it on you? How many times have you posted a photo, deleted it, then reposted because the likes didn't hit fast enough? You thought you were expressing yourself, but really, you were just seeking applause. Approval addiction turns your life into a stage, and the audience? They're not even paying attention half the time. You want to try something new? Maybe launch your own podcast, speak up on a topic you care about, show the world who you really are. But the moment you think about it, fear strikes. What will people think? What will they say? What do they think about it? What's somebody going to think? So back, Shakespeare did it right. What will people think? What if they judge me? What if no one supports me? You know what that is? That's not caution. That's captivity. You're waiting for permission to be powerful. And while you're busy begging for acceptance, someone else is out there being fearless without it. You've trained yourself to read people's emotions more than you read your own. You notice the slightest change in tone, the smallest frown, the pause in their reply, and you immediately assume, I must have done something wrong. That's not emotional intelligence. That's the result of years of needing to be liked just to feel safe. When love was conditional, approval became your oxygen. And now you're suffocating every time someone pulls it away. Let's talk relationships. How many times have you stayed in one just because you didn't want to look like a failure? You kept the smile on social media, kept the pictures coming, even though you were breaking inside. You weren't in love, you were in performance. You wanted people to believe you had it all together. You wanted their approval more than you wanted your own truth. Approval addiction isn't just about people pleasing. It's about betrayal. The betrayal of your soul in exchange for applause. And the cost, your identity, your energy, your freedom. You can't build a strong life on the shaky foundation of other people's opinions. Because here's the thing. People's approval is fleeting. They love you when you agree. They support you when you stay small. But the moment you grow, change, challenge, shine, they'll question you, criticize you, even walk away. And if your worth is tied to their praise, you'll break every time they withhold it. You weren't born to be liked, you were born to be authentic. To speak even when your voice shakes. To walk even when no one claps. To stand firm even if you stand alone. Because real confidence is this: knowing that your truth doesn't need a round of applause to matter. Sometimes the thing that's holding you back isn't failure, it's loyalty. Not the healthy kind, the kind that keeps you small because you're afraid of what growing might do to your circle. You don't want to make anyone uncomfortable. You don't want to be too much. So you shrink. You downplay. You settle. You get a promotion and instead of celebrating, you minimize it in front of your friends. You hear the voice inside say, don't be too proud. It might make them feel bad. You have ideas, big ones, revolutionary ones, but every time you try to speak them out loud, someone in your circle says, you've changed. So you start questioning yourself. Maybe I have changed. Maybe I'm being selfish for wanting more. But here's the truth. Growth always looks like betrayal to people who stopped evolving. You used to talk about dreams with them. Late nights, endless plans, promises of changing the world. But now when you bring up those same dreams, they roll their eyes. They say, that's unrealistic. They say, don't forget where you came from, but you never forgot. You just stopped settling. It's not your fault they stayed the same. It's not arrogance to want more. It's not disloyalty to level up. You're not supposed to carry everyone with you. Some people are part of your history, not your destiny. Think about this. You read new books, listen to new podcasts, watch motivational videos, and start changing your mindset. But when you try to bring that same mindset into the group chat, it's met with jokes, sarcasm, or silence. You share something meaningful, and someone responds with, "Who do you think you are now?" You laugh it off, but it stings. So next time, you stay quiet. You pretend you haven't grown, just to keep their comfort intact. You're afraid that if you outgrow your circle, you'll end up alone. So you keep watering dead plants. You keep revisiting conversations that go nowhere. You keep investing in people who don't invest back. You call it loyalty, but it's actually fear. The fear of walking alone. The fear of being misunderstood. The fear of success costing you companionship. But what if being misunderstood is the first sign that you're on the right path? What if letting go of small conversations makes room for bigger connections? What if isolation isn't punishment, it's preparation? There's a woman right now who's afraid to launch her brand because her friends still make fun of people who try to be influencers. There's a man who hasn't shared his poetry because his boys laugh at anything that sounds too emotional. There's a girl who won't post her fitness transformation because her cousin said she thinks she's better than us now. This is what fear of outgrowing your circle looks like. It's silent, slow, and suffocating. You start editing your wins. You stop telling the full truth. You turn down opportunities just to avoid making anyone feel left behind. But here's what no one tells you. The people who are meant for you won't feel threatened by your glow. They'll clap louder. They'll stretch with you. They'll say, "Go higher. We've got you." But if your circle gets smaller as you grow, it's not rejection, it's redirection. Growth demands courage. The courage to walk into unfamiliar rooms. The courage to not belong where you once did. The courage to realize that not everyone from your past deserves access to your future. And if the price of your next level is the comfort of your current circle, then maybe it's time to stop fearing what you'll lose and start focusing on who you'll become. Delay doesn't always look like laziness. Sometimes it wears the mask of logic. I'll start when the time is right. I just need a little more research. I'm almost ready. But the truth is, you're not waiting for the perfect time. You're avoiding the imperfect beginning. That's delay syndrome. The quiet killer of dreams. The lie of tomorrow that seduces you into staying still. You say you'll go to the gym next week after your schedule clears. You'll launch the business next month when you have more savings. You'll finally leave the toxic relationship once you've figured things out. But next week becomes next month becomes next year. And suddenly you're standing in the same place you were 5 years ago. Except now you're older and more frustrated. That's the price of postponement. Stolen potential disguised as patience. Is there someone out there right now, less talented than you, less skilled, less prepared, but they started? While you were perfecting your plan, they made their first move. And now they're learning, failing, growing, rising, while you're still getting ready. This isn't about hustle culture. It's about responsibility. Because every day you delay your gift, someone else suffers without it. You want to write a book? You think you need the right laptop, the quiet space, the perfect title. But what you really need is to stop making excuses and open a blank page. Your fingers know what your mind is afraid of. That messy beginnings are still beginnings. You can always edit a bad page. You can't edit a blank one. You've been telling yourself, I'll start healing when life calms down. But life never calms down. Alexander Finger said, I know life has been hard. You've been telling yourself, I start healing when life calms down. But life never calms down. You keep saying you'll go to therapy when work slows. Journal when you're less tired. Talk to someone when the pain becomes unbearable. But healing doesn't come after convenience. Healing begins the moment you stop delaying your own peace. A woman once told me she's been wanting to start her skincare line for 3 years. Every time she gets close, she says, I just want to be 100% ready. But perfection is a moving target. She doesn't need more time. She needs more courage. Because the longer she waits, the more she doubts. The more she doubts, the more she delays. And the more she delays, the more her dream starts to rot in silence. You're not stuck, you're waiting. And you think waiting protects you from failure, but all it does is rob you of the chance to evolve. You wait because you fear rejection. You wait because you fear judgment. You wait because you think preparation will eliminate pain. But nothing grows without tension. Nothing beautiful is born without risk. We romanticize the idea of someday, but someday is not a day of the week. It's a lie that keeps you comfortable, keeps you planning, keeps you dreaming without doing. You keep telling yourself that your breakthrough is coming, but breakthroughs don't show up for those who wait. They come to those who move. There are dreams that were meant to be born through you, but delay syndrome convinces you they can wait. That you'll do it when you're not afraid. That you'll try when you're more confident. But the confidence you're waiting for will only come after the action, not before it. So every time you say tomorrow, ask yourself this: what if tomorrow never comes? What if tomorrow never comes? What if the version of you you're trying to become is suffocating under the weight of excuses? What if your next level is waiting on the other side of one imperfect step taken today? You've seen the enemies now, not the loud ones that knock on your door, but the silent ones that sleep in your mind. The enemies that wear your voice, dress in your dreams, and walk beside you like shadows, pretending to be friends. And now you can't unsee them. You can't unfeel the truth that's been tugging at your heart since the first second of this speech. You were made for more, but you've been surrounded by less. Let me ask you something real. Are you really tired? Or are you tired of pretending to be someone you're not just to make everyone else comfortable? Are you really lost? Or have you just spent so long living in the expectations of others that you forgot what your own voice even sounds like? You don't need another year to figure it out. You don't need another degree, another relationship, another round of applause. You need you. The real you. The one who existed before the world told you who to be. Your life does not have to be a constant performance. You weren't born to be a background character in your own story. You were born to be bold, to be brilliant. Not everyone will understand your transformation. But your growth is not a group project. Your peace is not up for negotiation. Your purpose does not require permission. You are not too much. You are not too late. You are not overthinking. It is your time. Right now. Not when they approve. Not when they support you. Not when it's safe. Right now. When your hands are shaking and your heart is racing and your soul is screaming, I want more. Burn the idea that your worth comes from people clapping for you. Huh? Huh? Now tell. You are not putting up for no more. You're playing for your fate. Your worth comes from people clapping for you. Some of the loudest boos will come from the cheap seats, but remember, lions don't lose sleep over the opinions of sheep. You don't have to shrink to be seen. You don't have to play small to be loved. You don't have to keep dying in silence just to keep everyone else alive with comfort. They told you to be realistic. But reality is overrated when it limits your possibility. Do not let the fear of outgrowing people stop you from growing at all. Some bridges were meant to burn, not in bitterness, but in becoming. Perfection will never arrive. Stop editing the rough draft of your destiny. Done is better than delayed. Progress is louder than perfection. And dreams don't respond to hesitation. They respond to hunger. Every second you waste waiting for the world to catch up to your fire, you dim it a little more. But the world doesn't need a quieter you. It needs a louder you, a more fearless you, a you that walks into rooms with purpose, speaks truth with thunder, and refuses to bow to invisible chains. So promise yourself this. You will not water yourself down just to fit inside their glass. You will not pause your growth for the comfort of people who chose comfort over courage. And you will not let another year pass apologizing for your power. You're not behind, you're not broken. You're being built. Every setback was shaping your sharpness. Every rejection was redirecting your fire. Every invisible enemy was an invitation to rise. And now you know. You are not here to survive. You are here to shine, to shift, to shake the ground when you speak, when you walk, when you decide. So say it louder. I will no longer delay my destiny. Say it prouder. I will outgrow what no longer grows me, and say it like a war cry. I am not waiting for permission. I am the permission. This is not just a conclusion. This is your rebirth. From this moment on, you don't chase the light. You become it.